All right, Brandy Clark joining us here at the Acoustic Lounge there. And you know, one thing, you're a great songwriter.
Oh, thank you.
And Nashville just absolutely loves you, and they should. But one thing I miss, and maybe you do too, it used to be when you had records, you could see who the songwriters were.
Yeah.
And sometimes we got to hunt down to find out what songs you've written, and I kind of miss that for songwriters.
Wow, I didn't know they. I mean, this is how in a hole I live. I thought that we were still credited.
When you get a CD, you don't see it on there very much.
Really?
Yeah, you have to look on the liner notes and all that. We're used to, look on those.
Well, my new record has liner notes. Not only does it have
we like that.
The songwriters, it has all the players and background singers.
Excellent.
In fact, I was proofing it last night, and I get real upset when someone's not credited because I think, that's what they're looking for. And that's what they've told their mom about. Yeah. And then she opens it and they're not there, and they're a liar.
That's the first thing. I mean, when you first buy a CD, or back in the day of records, you'd read the back, you'd read all the liners, because I wanted to know who the players were and who the writers were.
You can't do that when you download stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
download
that's
music.
true. I know. I think about, before I moved to Nashville, the names that I knew, that I now know, people like Tony Brown, who produced all the records, and I just remember having in my mind what he looked like and all that, and he didn't look like what I thought he did, but I was the same way.
So you've written for Casey.
Yep.
Miranda.
Yep.
Van Perry.
Yes.
Who's the hardest to work with?
Well,
that's a tough question to answer.
I mean, of those,
tell us the dirt.
Of those three, I mean, I haven't really worked that much with. I've written a little bit with Miranda, but Casey's the one out of those three that I've really worked with. And she's always been real easy for me to work with.
So the songs it's what you wrote. They didn't change much of it. They
No, the only one of those in those situations where there were changes was Better Dig 2. Kimberly Perry asked for another verse. And it was the night before they recorded it, and so I remember
if you're not busy,
no pressure,
sitting in Cracker Barrel with the co-writers of that song, figuring that out.
Wait, for real in a Cracker Barrel?
For real in a Cracker Barrel.
So what line? What, is the second verse?
It's
the third
the
verse?
one about. It's the very last verse. So
it was written in a Cracker Barrel. That's a bit of trivia.
The end
folks.
of it, the end of it started there, and then we all went home and were texting each other. What about this? What about that?
Do you know why she wanted it changed?
She just wanted a little more content.
Okay.
And I'm really glad she did, because even though I can't remember that verse, it's my favorite. And I thought, I'm so glad, because it just gave the listeners, something again that was familiar yet not quite so familiar.
We've heard you say that your grandmother is one of your favorite characters, favorite people.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
Well, my grandma was just one of a kind, like a lot of people's grandmas, big character in that, she smoked like a train. That was one of the, like she would be offended if people said they were a smoker and didn't inhale real deeply. Remember that?
They're not a smoker.
Bring it to your nose.
Yeah. And just, I grew up next door to her, and so a lot of my early memories are of her, and she was like not just our grandma, but our babysitter, and she cussed like a sailor, and she loved country music too. A lot of the reason why I love country music, because as a child, my parents were listening to what was on the radio, and my grandma and grandpa listened to things that maybe were a little bit further removed, And so she's a lot of why, both my grandparents, why I have a love for real traditional country, for sure. And, she's just one of those people that would say it like it is. Didn't care who it offended, that kind of a thing.
Sometimes that's refreshing. Everything's so by the book anymore.
Yeah, well, just not by the book.
If you asked her a question, she would tell you the truth, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No. Grandma, have I gained weight? Yeah, you have.
Not a good answer.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to Grandma.
Now, there's a country sound that you get in Texas. There's the bluegrass sound you get from Kentucky. What's a Washington country sound? Is it different? Ooh.
Oh, that's a great question. Sounds kind of like Nirvana.
yeah, okay.
No, I think, oh, wow, that's such a good question. I don't really know how to answer.
Sometimes it's, a little heavier acoustic, a little more fiddles, or maybe harder steel, or...
I think, for me, what I learned I moved to Nashville to really immerse myself in country music, because there weren't a lot of people where I grew up that played country music, or, I was kind of an odd duck in that way. I think the thing that I've taken from Washington and put into my music is a realness. Like, what I was talking about with my grandma, but also where I grew up is a very real blue-collar, working-class sort of community. So that part of it is very much what I think of as country music, those sorts of values.
But
Folks should know that you're in basketball country here, but you played some college basketball.
I did, yeah, many, many moons ago. But
So
yeah.
were you a guard, a
I
forward?
was a guard, yeah.
Point guard?
Well, I was kind of like a shooting guard.
Okay.
But when I got into college, I was a real short, kind of slow shooting guard, so it didn't last very long.
I didn't know that was a position, a slow shooting guard.
Slow shooting guard. What was fast enough in high school was not quite fast enough in college.
you miss it?
Cool.
I don't, actually.
You don't?
No, I don't. I mean, I got my fill of it, and right about the time that I was ending that, I was really getting heavily into music. And so my passion just kind of shifted,
Yeah. Everybody has someone they're a little awestruck around, even people in the business. Who would that be for you?
Probably Reba,
Really?
who tweeted about my video the other night.
Oh boy.
And that kind
Wow.
of blew my mind, and I've had songs recorded by Reba, but I've never met her. So I would be very awestruck around her and probably Dolly. But I can't imagine meeting Dolly. I can imagine meeting Reba. I can't imagine meeting Dolly. But maybe I'll meet both of them. But I don't know that I really want to either because I'm sure they're fine people, but sometimes it's nice to just have people that are always a little bit out here to you.
Admire from afar.
Yeah, that aren't really real. Like Dolly's not real. She's Dora Lee on 9 to 5. That's that's where I want to keep her.
Sure.
I don't want to know that she drinks coffee and is tired sometimes and that
Maybe
kind of
grumpy.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I don't want to know that. Yeah, I don't think I'd be disappointed by either of those two. I will say that, but yeah, I'd definitely be awestruck.
I like you're drinking Starbucks. What's in there?
Just regular Pike blend.
Oh, you're
Little
simple.
Jack Daniels to spice it up.
You can get that there?
You get started early.
No, it's just black coffee.
You performed at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, how cool.
What was that like when you stepped out on that stage?
That's a really nerve-wracking performance setting, and I think even if it wasn't such a treasured sort of place, it would be because, you're backstage and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, we need you on stage 30 seconds ago. And then you're like in the middle of it all and knees are shaking. And, the first time I played it, it was with Marty Stewart's band.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
He really took an interest in my music and has done a lot to prop it up and let
You could share hairspray too,
My hair will never be as good as his, I can tell you that. Or my wardrobe. He's got this fabulous wardrobe. He's just a cool cat,
He is.
And so the first time I did it was with the fabulous Superlatives and him, which was pretty awesome. And it was also at the Ryman the first time I played.
Oh, that's even better.
Two
Yeah.
times a year they do the Opry at the Ryman.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming by. I know you're going to play some songs for us
Yeah,
here in a minute.
thank you guys.
The folks coming down, is that what they're going to do? Okay.
Thank you. So as I was telling Steve about earlier, I'm from a small town in Washington State, and this first song we're going to play actually wrote about a girl I graduated high school with, and felt like I had written something real specific because I graduated with 51 other kids. But as I've gone out and played this song all over, I've realized that I went to school with a lot more people than I maybe thought I did. Somebody's going to come up to me today and say, that song about that girl you went to high school with? And I'll say, yeah, and you're going to say, that's my sister. She hates her job, loves her kids, bored with her husband, tired of the same old list of things to do. So when the to-dos have all been done, she sits down at the kitchen table, rolls herself a fat one, smokes so sweet. get high. Thank you. So, as my little highlight reel showed you, I always call that the Warner Brothers love letter to me. I've been nominated for a couple of Grammys, and I've had the opportunity to actually perform on the Grammy show. And this next song I performed with Dwight Yoakam last year. And it was nominated for a Grammy this year, and I think that performance is probably the reason why. So I guess I need to thank Dwight in the acceptance speech that I didn't give because I didn't win. But anyways, we're going to do that one for y'all now. Raven is the color of her long curly hair. Red is the dress that she knows how to wear. Bluest eyes I've ever seen, maybe just a touch of green. Oh, she could steal most any woman's man. This'd be a real good time to hold my hand. She walked up and said, hello, it's been a while, don't think I didn't notice the nervous in your smile. Wasn't that long ago, you were a whole lot more than friends. So this would be a real good time to hold my hand. Don't let this moment linger. Now would be the time to reach out with your fingers, get them tangled up with mine. Let her know for sure that I'm more than just a soft place to land. This would be a real good time to hold my hand. If I'm your future, she's your past. If it's over with her and our love's gonna last, don't let this moment linger. Now would be the time to reach out with your fingers, get them tangled up with mine. Let her know for sure that I'm more than just a soft place to land. This would be a real good time. Oh, this would be a real good time. This would be a real good time to hold my hand. Thank you. Also, this is Miles Aubrey who is playing with me here. Thank you. So this summer I got to make a new record. It's called Big Day in a Small Town. And the first single off of it is this song we're about to play. And I'm as proud as I've ever been of anything of this whole record and this single, and just getting the chance to come out and meet everybody at radio and hear this song on the radio. So this is Girl Next Door. When you took me home, you knew who you were taking. Not some Debbie debutante standing in an apron, frying up your bacon. My house and my mouth and my mind get kinda trashy. I've never been to jail, but hell, I wouldn't put it past me. So if you want the girl next door, some Virgin Mary metaphor, your cardboard cutout on the wall, your paper roll, your Barbie doll with perfect hair and a perfect dress, I'm really just the perfect mess, and I ain't nothing less or nothing more. So baby, if you want the girl next door, then go next door and go right now and don't look back, don't turn around and don't call me when you get bored. Yeah, if you want the girl next door, then go next door. Sorry, I ain't sorry that I ain't your Marsha Brady. If I ever met her, bitch, she'd probably hate me, 'cause you'd wanna date me. My heart and my head and my bed can get real twisted, and you wouldn't be the first. Think you're gonna go and fix it. So if you want the girl next door, some Virgin Mary metaphor, your cardboard cutout on the wall, your paper roll, your Barbie doll with perfect hair and a perfect dress, I'm really just the perfect mess, and I ain't nothing less or nothing more. So baby, if you want the girl next door, then go next door and go right now and don't look back, don't turn around and don't call me when you get bored. Yeah, if you want the girl next door, then go next door. The thing that turns you on is what you want to change, but you have a better chance of slowing down a train. If you want the girl next door, some Virgin Mary metaphor, your cardboard cutout on the wall, your paper roll, your Barbie doll with perfect hair and a perfect dress, I'm really just the perfect mess, and I ain't nothing less or nothing more. So baby, if you want the girl next door, then go next door and go right now and don't look back, don't turn around and don't call me when you get bored. Yeah, if you want the girl next door, then go next door. Thank you guys so much.